We making cool beats from scratch, bro. That's what we doing. So this beat I'm about to play, you can see me doing some mixing. Make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to use the MPC plugins, and I'm going to make this from scratch. I don't got no cool intro. I don't got none of that stuff, bro. I'm done doing all that other stuff. We getting straight to the work. Right now, here we go. So first, man, what I like to do, first, let me introduce myself. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I'm on the MPC Live 2. We're going to make something from scratch. You know, I'm using the OPX4 right now. You know, I'm in the program edit, which is the best. You know, to me, that's the most strongest screen on the MPC. But I know, man. I'm going to have to learn you in 2024, show you how to get it popping. You know, a lot of people are always looking for the right preset. There's a bunch of dope presets. And, you know, right now, I'm just going to show you how to get to a full beat pretty quickly. You get what I'm saying? Not too quick, but in like 20 minutes, man. You know what I mean? We can get the whole thing scoped out. So right now, I just went to the notes screen. You know, we're going to choose some pads. I turned down the key that we're playing in, put it in minor. You know what I mean? And then you just play around, try to find some stuff. I like that right there. I'm going to tap the tempo as I go. You know, tap it so that way it's already at the place I want it to be, you know what I mean? And so now we could just hit record and we could just throw in our parts. We're going to name it as we go. So we're just going to name that pad. We're going to double check, make sure everything's on the grid. There's a lot of producers out here who are not on the beat. They like to move things off beat. They like to do a lot of different things. That's not really my MO. You know what I mean? Like, I make beats to sell them to people, and these people are either rapping or writing or, you know, talking over the beats or doing podcasts or whatever they do. You know, I'll put the beat stars down below. I'm going to start selling beats. Some of these beats that I just make, you know what I mean, give you guys the opportunity to hear them, get the license and all that stuff. You know, and if you want to keep this video, I'm going to add it to my course down below. I got a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff that I did over the last 2 years, and now I might make a new one to add to it. But, you know, right now we just searching sound, so this is a great way to kind of build your drum kit. I loaded a preset kit, and then what I do is just go search for sounds and make the kit what I want it to be. You know what I mean? That's the best way to kind of utilize your sounds. I always make a new drum kit or just choose a new drum kit for the most part. You know, I have the O.T.G Smackers kit. I do utilize that kit if I'm just trying to get in and make something quickly. But even then, I might come through and substitute something later, you know what I mean? If you don't got a bunch of sounds, I got a bunch of expansions and stuff for sale, man. And we're going to find a hi-hat that we like. I like to use a couple hi-hats. You know what I mean? The mistake I was making is when the pads are all yellow, that means there's a sound on the pad. When you make the pad green, that means that pad is ready to load the sound. And so you'll see that For example, right now I chose that sound, I loaded it, but I didn't have a pass selected. Just moving fast, doing a lot of stuff. These are small things. You know what I mean? And so eventually you'll catch on. Like, problem solving's got to be one of your things when you're working at hardware. Or you assume that it's a problem with the hardware. You should probably assume user error and you don't know what you're doing, or you did something and messed up. No, that's always the better way to go. Machines are the machines, and they've been built to work a certain kind of way for a long time. And the basics of doing drums on the MPC have been the same for so long that they don't even really got glitches right there. So if something's not working or something's not operating properly, it's something you did, not the machine. Now you can see right now what I'm doing is I like to hold. It's just everybody's got their own little things. I like to hold the note repeat. I don't like to latch it. It's just something that I do, you know what I mean? And then we back in the program edit screen. We select the key, we can turn up the key. You go through and fix all the hi-hats, kind of get them right. We can run through each sample as we select the pad. Then we could go through and turn the levels down, and then we can pan it. This is all in your program edit screen. This is probably the most important screen there is on the MPC. For me at least. Especially if you got a drum program, because this is where you're going to actually be able to go and really make some edits to all of your drums and everything you got going on. I also like to make my beats track for track. That's something that you can see that I'm doing right now, track them one at a time. So then that way I don't have to explode them later. And then a lot of times, a lot of the beats that I'm making, because I'm making them from scratch and I'm not really doing super sophisticated drum rolls, or I'm not trying to do something 4 or 5 different versions of the drums, I'll just utilize one sequence. You know what I mean? So I utilize the one sequence method, so I automatically just kind of scope it out from there. Right now, one of the things to remember is, because I started this beat with the pad, with the sound first before the drums, and I went into notes mode, right now all of my notes are still playing the chord progression until I go change it. The cool thing about that is when you play chords with a bass or something that might only have one voice or is legato, however it works in the poly section, how it treats 2 different pads, it'll give you a dope sound, and it'll be right in key most of the time. That's the dope thing about the MPC. So another trick that I utilize is, if I find a bass and I like it, I'll just lay it down, and then I'll keep going through the sounds until I find a bass that I feel like better fits what I'm trying to do. So right now that's in mini D. So far we got the mini D, we got OPX4, and now we're gonna go to Solina. It's funny because Solina is one of those that isn't used that much, but if you start to mess with it and go through it, there's some really strong sounds in there. You know what I mean? Like, you can get some pretty dope orchestral sounds, and if you stack those on top of, say, strings or anything else, you could really get a deep orchestra if you tried. You get what I'm saying? So it's definitely worth checking out. I use it all the time. You know, it seems like as they come with new plugins, people forget about the ones that were there early on. And you know, you can't sleep on them. They definitely got some fire still in there. There's over 8,000 presets. And all 4 of the knobs, your cue links, they go out to 16 total. And they're already mapped to every piece and every part. Right now we're using the OPX4 again. They're already mapped to every piece and every part of the beat. You dig what I'm saying? So it don't really make sense to actually say the sounds don't sound good or you don't have enough sounds. There's more than enough sounds. The reality is you're just not messing around with them or you're not digging enough. With the amount of sounds that they have in the MPC, you should be able to not only find a sound that is close, but make a sound out of no sound. And if you want it fuller, if you want to do anything to it, you could just resample it and just keep buffing it up and making it bigger, doing it up, puffing it up until it's what you want. That's a fact. My favorite little keyboard is this Nano Key 2. If you've watched my videos, you know I've had this thing for years. I love it, man. I like the quirkiness of it. I like how the pads the keys are a little strange. They're expressive, but they're a little strange sometimes. They got a nice little click to them. It's a dope little keyboard. I've been using it for a long time. Before I used my bigger keyboards, which I got a 37 key, a 25 key, a 61 key. I got a bunch of keyboards in here. I always just go grab this little Nano Keys too. It's part of the reason why I didn't buy the Key 37. You know what I mean? Because I could use the bigger keys, but I already got a couple MPC ones. I got a Force, I got the Live 2. You know, I've been thinking about buying one more MPC, but at the same time, I've been waiting, you know what I mean? So right now, what we're doing is just using our program 1. Gonna go through a couple of these. Let's go through the Arab music, and let's go find some sounds in there. Let's go ahead and create a bunch of random offset sounds. I might not use them, I might use them, but we could stack it up for sure and get some fullness and give some extra to it. This beat is kind of slow. Funny thing about slow beats though, for you guys to really understand and know hip hop, you know what I mean? At 125 BPM, it's a pretty good speed for real. You know, if we were to cut it in half, it's like 62.5 BPM. You know what I mean? And if you know what 62, 60 to like 70 is real turn music, because really what you're doing is you're supplying space from the kick to the snare. So when you think about a rapper, maybe because you guys might not rap, or if you don't rap, or if you don't write lyrics, or if you don't write songs, you might not understand the necessity for the space in the beat. You know what I mean? The space between the kick and the snare. That's what the BPM is. You know what I mean? The understanding of the steps in between 16th note steps, 8th note steps. So a lot of the people that I make beats for rap, like gangster rap or reality rap. You know, they not a bunch of bars rappers. They not a bunch of guys who are trying to make radio hits. These are guys who are rapping what we call reality raps. You know, probably in the lane of like Nipsey Hussle and things of that nature. And if you listen to those beats, they're all about the same speed. You know, the song will actually sound different once you put lyrics on there, once you add the feeling and emotion. You know, that's why I like to add the hi-hats, because the hi-hats give the pace to the beat. It lets an artist know that if you want to go in between a slow style and a fast style, you want to get your twister on, you could do all of that. If you want to write a cool song, a slow song, a girl song, an up-tempo song, there's space for that. And so, you know, understanding and leaving space inside of your beats are very important. You know what I mean? It's something that a lot of you guys should start to think about. You know what I mean? I watch a lot of the videos and see a lot of things, and when I see a lot of people complaining and making beats and doing stuff, you know, I don't want you guys to become professional YouTubers. Like, a lot of guys make those beats, they set out, they become great producers, and then they just become a YouTuber. There's nothing wrong with YouTube. There's nothing wrong with creating content. But at the end of the day, if you're creating music, then what you're trying to do is get people on your songs. And there's a whole lot of beats that sound really good but aren't song worthy. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we could sit back, we could brag about it, we could call people's beats trash, we could try to go beat for beat. We could try to beat battle and all that shit. But at the end of the day, none of that shit really matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting beats in the hands of people, getting songs created, getting ideas started, you know what I mean? Getting people motivated when they hear your music should be the goal. And that's always my goal, you know what I mean? And while I'm attached to every beat that I make, I'm not attached, excuse me, I'm sorry, that was rude. While I am attached to every beat that I make, I'm not attached to every beat that I make, because at the end of the day, you never know what's going to get somebody motivated. And so beats like this, where it's kind of chill, I kind of got a cool head nod, like this isn't going to be the last beat that I made today, it's probably going to be the first or the second, you know what I'm saying? I believe it's the second already. I made one earlier. I'm here on the late night, so this might be one of many tonight, you know what I mean? So we're gonna make it. Like, the goal is to have a big library of beats. The goal is when you get into a studio or you get to a place where somebody wants you to play beats, you can produce them a whole album. So not only can you have the sample slaps, not only can you have the up-tempo slaps, not only can you have the radio hits, you can also have song number 12, song number 5, song number 7, song number 14. You know, the songs that make a full album complete. And in that space too, you know what I mean? Want to just be able to motivate artists into rapping. Since a lot of you guys don't have any artists, you know, it's like my 24th year or 25th year doing this shit. So, you know, I've been making beats and giving them to artists and selling music and moving music as long as some of you guys been alive, and longer than probably longer than some of you guys who are watching my tutorials right now. You know, and it don't make me feel old, it don't make me feel better than you, it don't make me feel anything. The only thing that I have is the confidence in knowing that when I get inside of a room with an artist, there's something there. Whether they use this beat, whether we start to construct a song on this beat, and then it transforms into something else, whether I give it to my band and they play parts of it and take parts of it and build on it and it becomes some type of live instrumentation, whether I give it to the different stores and restaurants that I deal with and different people that I know who just need music to talk over, or if I put it on my BeatStars and let people license it and buy it 150 times, whatever I do with it, I'm so used to doing something with it that what all of this time has taught me is to leave space for artists, and think efficiently. As a producer, you want to create movement. I got one sound, one sequence, 4 bars, and we want to turn this 4 bars into 64 bars. So the vision in between, you gotta have it as you making it, and you gotta understand when not to do too much. So right now, I doubled it out to 64 bars. I press record, we're going to press play, and then we're going to record the mutes in. Bring the bass in. Bring in the zap, we bring in the clap. We got the drums on. And the thing about arrangement is pretty much like everything else that we were just talking about. You need to think about the arrangement and the idea of the application of who you're going to give it to. We don't got a long beginning. Them long beginnings take too long. You know what I'm saying? We don't got a weird time that the bass comes on. That the song comes on. It doesn't take too long. We creating clear-cut identifiers. This is the verse. This is the bridge. This is the chorus. This is a drop. This is all of this stuff. This is where you can come in and say this and you can say that. You need to understand that artists don't make music. They write songs. We create the music. We provide the direction for the song. That's why I call you a producer, not a beat maker. The more you see yourself as a producer, the more you'll be okay with producing all kinds of things. And your productions will not sound stale. Like, to the average listener or producer, they're thinking about all this extra shit that they would want to do to the beat, and that's cool. They're producers, not songwriters, you know what I'm saying? And the game of songwriting, you gotta leave space. So, my goal is to always leave space, leave a clear-cut part where you can understand. So now we're gonna go to the main out. I'm gonna add in the soft clipper. I be with all of everything. I'm blessed to have access to these things, just like you. So we got the soft clipper. I'm gonna go to spot 4. I'm gonna throw the MPC 60 emulation on there. This is on the main output. On spot 2, I'm gonna add an EQ. We're gonna mess with the EQ a little bit. I added it after the soft clipper. It's a 4-band EQ. I really like the 4-band EQ. If you really want to dial it in, you could dial it in with your ears. So we're gonna dial it in, get it a pretty good sound. Now we're gonna go through and touch everything one time, touch the fader. So we got rid of the clip. Go back to the beginning, we're gonna touch everything. Play with the volumes a little bit. Now this is something I would do a lot of, but I'm not about to do it on this video. Hopefully you got some information from this video. Like I told you from the start, we just want to make this beat from scratch. Talk to you through this whole thing. Hopefully you got some tips and things that you could take with you for a lifetime. If you want to support, you can always support at Cash App, O.T.G. You can always buy from the Gumroad. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to get up with me, if you're trying to get one-on-one courses or some things like that via Zoom. I don't do video, but I will definitely show you via video. And that's it. Like, share, subscribe, comment. It's your brother, O.T.G.